Well, this is quite a story here. A 4-year-old boy with special needs goes to school one day, and without his parents' knowledge, a traveling dentist goes to work on him.
In a startling lawsuit, the boy's parents allege that their son was held down against his will while a dentist performed excessive and unnecessary procedures. The Fox 10 investigators find out what's going on here.
His night terrors were like nothing we had ever seen.
5-year-old Isaac Gagnon is a survivor. He started life as a victim of shaken baby syndrome.
5 skull fractures, retinal bleeding behind both eyes, subdural hematoma.
Isaac was later adopted by Stacy and Darren Gagnon, who live in Camp Verde, Arizona, north of Phoenix. With 2 children of their own growing up fast, the Gagnons, both teachers, adopted 3 special needs children, including Isaac.
Our whole lives has been about protecting kids and loving kids.
Isaac's recovery was called a miracle. His most lingering issue, occasional seizures. And 4 years later, he was doing well enough to attend preschool at Camp Verde Elementary. That was until last October 4th.
My son loves to ride the bus home from school, even though it's only a quarter of a mile.
When he stepped off the bus that day, his mother said Isaac was clearly in pain.
He basically collapsed in my driveway and was just bawling his eyes out. I picked him up and I said, "What is the matter? You know, was this a bad day at school?" And he said, "The dentist man, he got me. The dentist man got me."
After Isaac calmed down a bit, his mother got a look inside his mouth.
He opened his mouth and I see 2 crowns and on of his back teeth.
Then she checked his backpack.
There was paperwork in there that stated he had received 2 pulpotomies, 2 stainless steel crowns, and 10 x-rays while at his preschool.
A pulpotomy is a root canal on a baby tooth.
I was livid. Never in my mind did I think they were going to do pulpotomies on my 4-year-old in an art room.
Weeks later, the Gagnons filed this lawsuit. Among the defendants, the dentist who worked on their son, Alvin J. Kuhn Jr.
I want him to go to jail. I want him to go to jail for child abuse and fraud.
The family alleges their son, Isaac, was unlawfully restrained.
For over half an hour, 3 adults held my son down and drilled out his teeth while he kicked and screamed and gagged to get off the table.
The Gagnon's lawsuit states that Dr. Kuhn worked for Big Smiles, Arizona, a mobile dentistry company operated by Dr. Ralph Green, another dentist. Neither Dr. Kuhn nor Dr. Green would talk to us on camera. Green did send us a written comment saying, "The dentists I have employed in my 10 years of running a mobile dental practice are highly qualified professionals who are committed to bringing comprehensive dentistry to kids who can go years without ever seeing a dentist." Off camera, Dr. Green told us he hires about 30 dentists who travel statewide, and that Dr. Kuhn was one of them before leaving last year. Both Green and Kuhn were named as defendants in the Gagnon's lawsuit, along with Big Smiles, Arizona, and a company called Reachout Healthcare America. More on them in a moment.
Nothing was ever signed by me, ever.
The Gagnons allege that they never gave permission for any of the dental work done on their son Isaac.
In talking with the company, they have agreed I never signed that form.
Stacy did talk to Reachout Healthcare America by phone months before the dentist visited her son's school.
They did call me prior to this, and on the phone I was explicit that my son has a seizure disorder and he has medical issues, but he would be fine for the x-rays and maybe a small filling or cleaning.
She specifically remembers telling Reachout America that no dental procedures be performed.
I did not give permission for this.
Isaac's case is not an isolated one. The U.S. Senate and several states are investigating whether dental management companies fueled by Wall Street money are soaking taxpayers and harming children with unnecessary dental work billed to Medicaid. Medicaid outlays for dental care increased more than $7 billion from 2008 through 2011. That's taxpayer money. The Yavapai County Sheriff's Office confirms it is working with the state on the Gagnon's case. But no one will talk because the investigation is ongoing. The Gagnons allege battery and fraud.
To me, to hold down a 4-year-old special needs little boy and drill out teeth that do not need work is criminal.
Reachout Healthcare America is one of dozens of dental management companies nationwide. According to Senate investigators, they search out schools in underprivileged areas and offer dental treatment for children at no charge to their parents. They just bill Medicaid instead. When we reached out to Reachout Healthcare America for an interview, we received this written statement from a spokesperson. Reachout Healthcare America takes the concerns of each and every parent as seriously as we take our mission. Reachout Healthcare America operates in 22 states and says it's provided dental services to 400,000 kids. Reachout Healthcare America also just happens to be in the portfolio of Morgan Stanley Private Equity.
I can guarantee you that Morgan Stanley won't be happy about this if this turns out to be a big problem.
Dr. Gary Gibbons teaches private equity at the Thunderbird School for International Management. We spoke to him about the private equity investing.
Private equity is a form of investing in non-public companies.
If you look at Morgan Stanley's website, go to private equity and scroll down a bit. There it is, Reachout Healthcare America. If federal and state investigators determine Reachout and other companies like it are involved in Medicare fraud, it won't look good for Morgan Stanley.
When you're dealing with Medicare and Medicaid, there is a rampant amount of fraud and inefficiency in those systems.
There's been multiple occasions where parents have brought children in that were completely unaware that treatment was done on their children. Hey Jada, how you doing?
Dr. Bob Lee Raber is a pediatric dentist, not associated with Reachout or Dr. Green.
I'm going to pull on your tooth for just a second.
I called Dr. Raber in Prescott, and he agreed to see him.
Dr. Raber also saw Isaac Gagnon shortly after his dental work at school.
It appears that there were 2 procedures done on each of those teeth on the bottom.
But at first, Dr. Raber said Isaac was so traumatized after what happened at school, he couldn't get the boy anywhere near an exam room.
He really just lost it. He couldn't physically do it.
During a second visit, Dr. Raber got a little further.
He was able to show me his teeth, and at that point I took some x-rays.
But most troubling to Dr. Raber were the x-rays Isaac's mother received at her request from Reachout. She showed them to Dr. Raber.
The teeth that were treated don't look any different than the teeth that were not treated on the radiographs.
Was the work unnecessary? It's something else the Gagnon lawsuit alleges. Dr. Raber prepared this written report for the Gagnons.
Based on the radiographic evidence and the records that I was provided, it doesn't support the treatment that was done.
Not only was the work apparently unnecessary, Dr. Raber said it wasn't done right.
The pulpotomy, the part we're supposed to clean out when we do that, doesn't look like it was cleaned out at all.
He said that all dental work done on Isaac at school will have to be done again.
Which is troublesome because on a child like this, you surely don't want to have to go back and do it a second time.
Meanwhile, it's been several months now since Isaac received his in-school dental care, and he's not getting any better.
After 2 months of screaming night terrors and not sleeping, we finally had to put him on medication.
The Gagnon lawsuit alleges Isaac now suffers from night terrors, loss of sleep, and he's lost time at school as a result of the care he was given.
He's not been back. I mean, he's not in school anymore.
The Gagnons provided these photos of Isaac because clearly pointing our news camera at their son wouldn't help. Counselors told Stacy that her son suffers from post-traumatic stress disorder.
He can't cope and can't process a lot of what's happened to him, so it's been a nightmare for him.
So for now, Stacy and Darren Gagnon will do what's best for their son.
It's hard to swallow that it happened to my son, and it hurts my heart, but I also think that I can stand up and say this isn't happening anymore.
And try to make sure nothing like this ever happens to anyone else again.
I want Reachout Healthcare to not be in business anymore.
When we asked Morgan Stanley Private Equity for an interview, they referred us to Reachout Healthcare America. And again, Reachout Healthcare America is a dental management company. It schedules local dentists to visit schools and then bills Medicaid.